experience, because we will share our thoughts. Your comments will be very, very helpful for me, and really a treasure, because I will be getting in touch with so many people, and I will be getting so much to reflect on. For online workshops, the first topic that I thought I would start with is boosting self-confidence. The famous German writer Goethe said, "Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, magic, and power in it." Of course, very nice words said by a great philosopher, a great writer. What do these words tell us? They tell us about self-confidence, because a person who has confidence in him has the moral courage and the confidence to dream of doing something good, something big, and then has even more courage to start doing it. Can spread that magic and genius around him. So, the thing is, we should be able to channelize our energies in a positive manner. We should be able to think positively, to dream positively, to dream of big things as well, because we have a lot of capacity. We have been blessed with a lot of capacity inside us, and all of us, each one of us, can do great things. It's only that we are able to see beyond the ordinary, dream of big things, then start doing those big things also. Take the first plunge, take the initiative, set aside the fear of the unknown, and just go for it, and see that the sky is not the limit actually. Here on the slide you can see an image where there is a train, an engine that's taking a train along the track, and the engine says, "I train my brain." And that's a very important thought. The engine, is the brain of the train. We can look at it that way. And the engine says, "I train my brain." It's very important that each one of us knows that we have been bestowed with qualities that if we polish, if we can utilize in a better, positive, stronger manner, we can come up as very strong people. Even Albert Einstein used only 1% of his brain. Only 1%. So human beings have been bestowed upon with a lot of qualities, a lot of energies, a lot of mental energies. And with those mental energies, if they put them into good use, they can do wonders. We have seen people doing wonders. And even then we know that only 1% of his brain was used by Einstein, who did a lot of great things. So you have to choose to be big, to be great. You have to choose to start doing good, better things, to make yourself a better person, to spend your life in a better manner. And on the train here, in the image, you can see that on the lorries is written, and on the engine is written "I", and on the lorries is written "I want to feel good. I want to feel good." So when do you feel good? You feel good when you're confident enough. You feel good when you're able to do things your way. You feel good when you know that nothing can stop you, and you are good enough to proceed with things as they come to your mind. So feeling good is really important for every one of us, because that brings self-actualization, that brings happiness, that brings joy, and that makes all of us better people, and that gives us better lives. So we are actually discussing the game that goes on between being underconfident, self-confident, and overconfident. Just imagine there is a continuum, and on the continuum, at the left hand side, you see underconfidence, in the middle you see self-confidence, and the right hand end you see overconfidence. If it's a seesaw, just imagine that line, that continuum that you're imagining is a seesaw. The pressure of being overconfident will raise underconfident up, and it will get down by itself. In the middle will remain self-confidence. That's so important to stabilize the two, to create an equilibrium between the two ends of being underconfident and overconfident. Self-confidence is actually feeling unstoppable because you know you have the ability, you have the guts, and you have the courage to go on with whatever you're dreaming of or you're planning to do. And you can actually put that into execution. So that is really important. Underconfident. You're underconfident. And you will be fearing what is going to come to me in future. If I start doing something this way, what will happen next? And that will take your confidence to the lowest possible limits. And you will not be able to do whatever you want to. You will be feeling scared out of your wits, as it says. And if you're feeling scared, you're unable to do anything constructive at all. So self-confidence becomes very important. On the other hand, if you're overconfident, what will you do? You will be doing things the wrong way. And when you do things the wrong way, or you start doing things in a way that you start rushing upon them or rushing towards something, you start making mistakes. And when you start making mistakes, what happens? You put all things wrong. So being overconfident also hurts you a lot. That puts you in trouble. So the equilibrium is achieved only when you have self-confidence, not overconfidence. Or, of course, underconfidence. If I am not for myself, who will be? And if you want to be for yourself, what do you need? You need to be confident about yourself. You need to believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. It's a mad, mad, mad world. It's a ruthless world. Nobody will believe you if you don't believe in yourself. It's important that you believe in yourself. You become confident about yourself. And then you start doing better, good things. We are talking about boosting self-confidence. And we are talking about why self-confidence is important. Why am I saying all these things? I'm saying all these things to warm up your minds, to give you some food for thought on the topic, to channelize your energies, mental energies in a way that you start thinking about what we are talking about. And I hope that you're going to comment also. I would like to see in your comments what you say. Your feedback would be very, very important, very valuable for me. So after this discussion, this basic discussion, we will move forward to an activity as well. And I would like you to do something that will warm up your minds and that will give you more food for thought on the topic, and that will of course involve you in it along with me, and we will be enjoying the experience even more. So here comes an activity for you, for me, for all of us. The image here says, I am not good enough. Oh my God, oh God. If I feel I'm not good enough, how am I going to become self-confident? That means I don't have any confidence level at all. Now this happens in all of our lives, one time or the other. It might have happened in our childhoods, in our school days, in our college days. Whenever we thought we are developing, we need something further, or whenever we thought we have been bogged down by life. And that also happens with all of us, because all times are not good ever. So there is an activity for you people. You have to recall and write down individually about a time when you felt extremely underconfident. That was in your school days, your college days, your professional life, whenever you felt bogged down by life, or even your personal life, or it was at home, or with friends, or with somebody. It can be with you yourself. So you have to just jot down when you felt extremely underconfident. And when you start writing upon it, and when you finish and when you read it, believe me, you will feel really different about it now, because that time has gone by. How did you react to it? How did you come out of it? What happened after that time, that blue time for you, when you felt really, really underconfident? When you felt, I can never do good. I am not good enough. So what happened? Did life stop for you? No, you went on. Life went on. Things have gone by. Have you become a stronger person or a weaker person? Or has life just dragged you? Or have you towed it? So all these things we need to evaluate about ourselves, and this activity will give you that margin to rethink about whatever has gone past, about that time when you felt really bad, and about how you took things, because life is how we make it for ourselves. There is a saying, if life hands you lemons, make lemonade. So how many of us were able to make lemonade out of those lemons? How many of us were able to become stronger people? That is very important. That actually comes from the inner confidence that we have in ourselves. And that can be done with those of us also who don't have that confidence right now. But actually, they have been bestowed upon with that mental energy, with that inner energy that they can utilize. They just need to awaken that. And let's help all of us, let's help them awaken it. So you can turn off your audios or videos now, and you can start writing. And after you have written it, please reread it. Please rethink about how life has gone on after that. And you can share it, your experiences, in the comments as well. And if you don't want to share it, you're most welcome. That is just an introspective activity that we will start with, and we will see where we stand now at this point in life with regard to self-confidence. So I believe all of you must have written down something about when you felt underconfident, and you must have also thought about what happened after that, how life went on, how things moved on. But I must say something very important to you right now. Love yourselves. Buddha, the magnificent, great Buddha, the very, very great reflector upon life. He said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Yes, it's very important that we give out love and affection to others, but what about ourselves? We must love ourselves. We must know how good we are. We must know the goodness inside us. We must know the real nice human beings that all of us are. If we know it, we will feel good about ourselves. And feeling good about yourself is something that gives the starting point to your real, actual life. Not survival, I'm saying life. Everybody survives. We have to live our lives. And when you have to live your lives, you have to feel good about yourself. There is where you start actually spending your life your way. And you become a very healthy person emotionally. Your personal wellness begins there. Your personal wellness begins when you start feeling good about yourself. Your life begins when you achieve that personal wellness. And that total wellness when you achieve it. What is that total wellness? It is your emotional wellness, plus your environmental wellness, plus your financial wellness, plus your mental wellness, plus your physical wellness, plus your spiritual wellness, plus your intellectual wellness, plus your social wellness, plus your occupational wellness. All these things, so many things summed up on this slide tell you how you become a really emotionally healthy person, a really intellectually healthy person. How do you foster your good relationships with others? When you are emotionally, you achieve emotional wellness. The environment that's around you, that people that you interact with, nature that you interact with, they all have to be kind towards you. They all have to be good. They all have to be well. They all have to have that level of wellness so that you really feel good about yourself, so that you really feel good about living in those circumstances and environment. Then your financial wellness and your occupational wellness, they are also very important because they give you self-actualization. When you are financially able to afford your life in a proper way, and by a proper way, when I'm saying a proper way, I don't mean that I would sit in a limousine and go around Europe. No. That I just mean that I can afford a conveyance probably, or if I'm satisfied with it, I can just afford to use a tram. So your satisfaction level is actually very important. You just have to be satisfied with your life. You have to be contented with it. And that will create an equilibrium between your occupational and financial wellness. That will lead to your mental wellness and your physical wellness. If you're psychologically strong and well, you will be physically strong as well. And that will lead to your intellectual and social wellness, and eventually to your spiritual wellness. So, personal wellness is where feeling good about life begins, and because if you are actually feeling good about all these things that we just discussed, you are a happy person, or you are on the road to happiness. So your activity, your brainstorming about the topic starts here, and I would like you to like and share this video if you really liked it, and I would like you to subscribe also, so that the next part of this boosting self-confidence workshop comes in, you're the first one to receive it. And this was the first part. Soon I will be uploading the second part for you people, so please do subscribe as well. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the second part of the online workshop on boosting self-confidence. This is going to be the second part. We discussed in the first part how self-confidence is very important, how in the continuum we find self-confidence, underconfidence and overconfidence, and how equilibrium and balance in life can only be achieved with self-confidence. So that's why it's very important to boost this thing inside you, to train your brain, to feel happy after you have achieved your goals, or at least you have started on the road towards the achievement of your goals. When you feel that you can accomplish something that you want to, and you start doing it, you start feeling good. So the wellness in your life starts from there, whether it be occupational or emotional or environmental or anything associated with your life. So this is boosting your self-confidence is very important. How can we boost our self-confidence? What things lead to being self-confident? Let's discuss today. The image on the slide shows you where does the road to confidence lead you. What are the milestones on the road? What you should be doing with your life to become self-confident. So there are various things mentioned here. One is self-praise. As we discussed yesterday too, you should self-praise yourself. You should give some affection and love to yourself as well. You should believe in yourself. And you should know that what you're doing is good. Even if you're not getting praise from around you, from people around you, it does not mean that you're going to be low, to feel down. No, because it's very difficult to get praise out of others. So at times you find that people are not praising your efforts, or maybe they are not able to see things from your perspective. Analyze the things that you are doing in the way that you can see them, that you can picture them. So self-praise is very important. You should know at times that what you are doing is good enough and is going to take you towards your destination. That's why you like what you're doing and you like yourself for doing it. So self-praise is the first thing that should be there for you to become self-confident. And that self-confidence, that self-praise emanates from positive thoughts. If you become negative about what you are doing, if you think that what other people are pointing at or they're trying to offer their critique on is all good and they are thinking right and you're not, you become negative about what you're doing, and that drowns your self-confidence. That's why it's very important that you keep your thoughts positive. You have analyzed the situation before starting on with what you are doing, and you can go on with it in a very positive manner, in a very thoughtful manner, and also believing that what you are doing is right and that everybody around the world cannot understand it from the perspective that you are looking at it with. So it's very important. Your thoughts should be positive. You should have self-praise and you should have well-defined goals, because once, just see, imagine you have a plan. Your circumstances are different than the circumstances of other people around you. They can never match. You don't have the same lives. You don't have the same circumstances. You don't have the same environment. You don't have the same financial conditions. You don't have the same family matters. everything differs from the other person. You don't have the same mental capacities. Each one of us, is intelligent, but we have been bestowed upon with different kinds of intelligences. Some of us are more musically intelligent, because they are involved into music. They listen to a tune or to a song once and they don't forget it ever, and they can sing it well too. Some are mathematically intelligent. They're very good at maths, unlike me, and some are literary intelligent. They are very vocal, eloquent in their speech, in their communication. So there are different intelligences that different people have. There are many others also, of course, that I have not mentioned here. Because we are all different from each other, because we have been created that way by our Lord, we also have different style of moving along things, of doing things, of moving along with things. So because we have different ways of doing the same thing, it's not necessary that the other person sees our perspective the same way that we do. And it's not necessary that he understands the things totally in our manner, in our way. That's why when you have a well-defined goal and you have made a plan of how to do it, how to achieve your goal, how to go to your destination, and that means you have your own plan in your own way of doing it. So believe in it then. Keep your thoughts positive. Praise yourself for what you have planned and what you're going to do, and go along it. That gives you confidence. That also at times doesn't mean that you don't listen to others at all. Listening to others, keeping their suggestions open and welcome is also very important, because you can analyze those suggestions also and your plan also in the light of those suggestions. Sometimes you might try to change your plan a bit because you think that some suggestion is really very good. So don't be overconfident about yourself. Keep the suggestion box always open, and of course analyze things and then move along. One other thing that you must do is managing stress and anxiety, because at times when we are working on a certain project or we are working on a certain facet of our life, anxiety and stress may pass our way. Things always do not move as per our plans. So that's why we become anxious. We can become anxious and we can become stressful. So you have to manage that stress, that anxiety as well. And the different ways of managing stress that we will also dilate upon in another online workshop soon. But to be short, managing stress and anxiety can be done in different manners by different people. Whatever, you can go out for a walk probably, or you can exercise, you can do yoga, you can eat your favorite food, and you can have a cup of coffee as well. That helps me a lot, strong coffee, and that helps you a lot to alleviate your stress. So whatever helps you, you can go in for it. You can go in to the kitchen and cook something for you. That's also at times elevates stress in different people. Or these are small things that you can do to manage your stress. And managing stress is important because while being in stress, you cannot think correctly, you cannot think positively, you cannot move along with things in a positive manner. So that's why it's very important that you manage your stress. And as you're managing your stress, as you're dealing with people around you, as you're dealing with their criticism that seems very negative to you, but you must understand they don't understand things the way you understand them in a particular project probably, or whatever thing you have taken up. So you have to be assertive as well about your thoughts, about your perspective. You have to be assertive, you have to take a stand, because, for good management, being assertive is very important. For if a person doesn't have the skill of being assertive, of being strong enough, of knowing that this is something that I'm doing my way and this is the right way and I must go on with it and it is going to benefit me, he has to be assertive, or she has to be assertive about it. She has to be, or he has to be emphatic about it, because if they are not emphatic and assertive, there will be many hurdles in their ways. People will cut their ways because they think that probably this person is going to harm himself or herself, going along with his or her plan, the way she or he is doing it. So they will try to hamper their progress in that manner. So you have to be assertive, you have to welcome suggestions, you have to manage your stress, you have to analyze things, and then you have to be assertive about your actions. And you have to believe that you deserve the best, nothing less than the best. Because if you don't believe that you deserve the best, you actually don't deserve the best. When you have self-belief, when you know that you will not settle down for anything less than the best, that for you the sky is not the limit, you cannot move on to be a great person or to grow in a great manner. That can be professionally, that can be personally, emotionally, that can be physically, that can be mentally, it can be in any manner. The wellness that we discussed in the first part of the presentation, the total wellness that emanates from you, from within you, is going to come from the belief that you deserve the best. And because you deserve the best, you have planned the best for you, and you are moving along with your plans that are going to bring you the best ever in life. So it's very important. Then another thing that is important, we are already talking about it, is self-acceptance. You accept how you are. No two persons are alike. No two persons are the very same. Two people will be different from each other. Now, it's not that because A has this quality, B is not good enough, because B doesn't have this quality. No, B will have another quality that A doesn't have. Accept yourself as you are, and use the skills, use the capacities and capabilities that you have been blessed with. If I can speak well and B cannot speak well, probably B can write well and I cannot write well. So B will use the quality of writing and A will use the quality of speaking. Accept your capabilities, accept your drawbacks, accept yourself as you are, and use the capacities that you have to the utmost. Use your best skills and never quit, never give up. Giving up takes you back, and you should never let that happen with yourself. Never quit. Another very important thing is, when you start doing something, anything that you have chalked out for yourself, any plan, you start doing it and you find many hurdles. And you don't find comfortable at times doing certain things. You have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to take things as they come your way and manage them accordingly. Life is not a bed of roses. Everything will not be very positive all the time. It cannot be. So you have to step out of your comfort zone and compromise with things and chalk out new ways of dealing with things in order to reach your destination and in order to be self-confident again. The image on the slide shows you where does the road to confidence lead you. What are the milestones on the road? What you should be doing with your life to become self-confident. So there are various things mentioned here. One is self-praise. As we discussed yesterday too, you should self-praise yourself. You should give some affection and love to yourself as well. You should believe in yourself. And you should know that what you're doing is good. Even if you're not getting praise from around you, from people around you, it does not mean that you're going to be low, to feel down. No, because it's very difficult to get praise out of others. So at times you find that people are not praising your efforts, or maybe they are not able to see things from your perspective. Analyze the things that you are doing in the way that you can see them, that you can picture them. So self-praise is very important. You should know at times that what you are doing is good enough and is going to take you towards your destination. That's why you like what you're doing and you like yourself for doing it. So self-praise is the first thing that should be there for you to become self-confident. And that self-confidence, that self-praise emanates from positive thoughts. If you become negative about what you are doing, if you think that what other people are pointing at or they're trying to offer their critique on is all good and they are thinking right and you're not, you become negative about what you're doing, and that drowns your self-confidence. That's why it's very important that you keep your thoughts positive. You have analyzed the situation before starting on with what you are doing, and you can go on with it in a very positive manner, in a very thoughtful manner, and also believing that what you are doing is right and that everybody around the world cannot understand it from the perspective that you are looking at it with. So it's very important. Your thoughts should be positive. You should have self-praise and you should have well-defined goals. Because once, just see, imagine you have a plan. Your circumstances are different than the circumstances of other people around you. They can never match. You don't have the same lives. You don't have the same circumstances. You don't have the same environment. You don't have the same financial conditions. You don't have the same family matters. Everything differs from the other person. You don't have the same mental capacities. Each one of us, is intelligent. But we have been bestowed upon with different kinds of intelligences. Some of us are more musically intelligent, because they are involved into music. They listen to a tune or to a song once and they don't forget it ever. And they can sing it well too. Some are mathematically intelligent. They're very good at maths, unlike me, And some are literary intelligent. They are very vocal, eloquent in their speech, in their communication. So there are different intelligences that different people have. There are many others also, of course, that I have not mentioned here. Because we are all different from each other. Because we have been created that way by our Lord. We also have different style of moving along things, of doing things, of moving along with things. So because we have different ways of doing the same thing, it's not necessary that the other person sees our perspective the same way that we do. And it's not necessary that he understands the things totally in our manner, in our way. That's why when you have a well-defined goal and you have made a plan of how to do it, how to achieve your goal, how to go to your destination, and that means you have your own plan in your own way of doing it. So believe in it then. Keep your thoughts positive. Praise yourself for what you have planned and what you're going to do, and go along it. That gives you confidence. That also at times doesn't mean that you don't listen to others at all. Listening to others, keeping their suggestions open and welcome is also very important, because you can analyze those suggestions also and your plan also in the light of those suggestions. Sometimes you might try to change your plan a bit because you think that some suggestion is really very good. So don't be overconfident about yourself. Keep the suggestion box always open, and of course analyze things and then move along. One other thing that you must do is managing stress and anxiety, because at times when we are working on a certain project or we are working on a certain facet of our life, anxiety and stress may pass our way. Things always do not move as per our plans. So that's why we become anxious. We can become anxious and we can become stressful. So you have to manage that stress, that anxiety as well. And the different ways of managing stress that we will also dilate upon in another online workshop soon. But to be short, managing stress and anxiety can be done in different manners by different people. Whatever, you can go out for a walk probably, or you can exercise, you can do yoga, you can eat your favorite food, and you can have a cup of coffee as well. That helps me a lot. Strong coffee, and that helps you a lot to alleviate your stress. So whatever helps you, you can go in for it. You can go in to the kitchen and cook something for you. That's also at times elevates stress in different people. Or these are small things that you can do to manage your stress. And managing stress is important because while being in stress, you cannot think correctly, you cannot think positively, you cannot move along with things in a positive manner. So that's why it's very important that you manage your stress. And as you're managing your stress, as you're dealing with people around you, as you're dealing with their criticism that seems very negative to you, but you must understand they don't understand things the way you understand them in a particular project probably, or whatever thing you have taken up. So you have to be assertive as well about your thoughts, about your perspective. You have to be assertive, you have to take a stand, because for good management, being assertive is very important. For if a person doesn't have the skill of being assertive, of being strong enough, of knowing that this is something that I'm doing my way and this is the right way and I must go on with it and it is going to benefit me, he has to be assertive, or she has to be assertive about it. She has to be, or he has to be emphatic about it, because if they are not emphatic and assertive, there will be many hurdles in their ways. People will cut their ways because they think that probably this person is going to harm himself or herself going along with his or her plan, the way she or he is doing it. So they will try to hamper their progress in that manner. So you have to be assertive, you have to welcome suggestions, you have to manage your stress, you have to analyze things, and then you have to be assertive about your actions. And you have to believe that you deserve the best. Nothing less than the best. Because if you don't believe that you deserve the best, you actually don't deserve the best. When you have self-belief, when you know that you will not settle down for anything less than the best, that for you the sky is not the limit, you cannot move on to be a great person or to grow in a great manner. That can be professionally, that can be personally, emotionally, that can be physically, that can be mentally, it can be in any manner. The wellness that we discussed in the first part of the presentation, the total wellness that emanates from you, from within you, is going to come from the belief that you deserve the best. And because you deserve the best, you have planned the best for you, and you are moving along with your plans that are going to bring you the best ever in life. So it's very important. Then another thing that is important, we are already talking about it, is self-acceptance. You accept how you are. No two persons are alike. No two persons are the very same. Two people will be different from each other. Now, it's not that because A has this quality, B is not good enough because B doesn't have this quality. No, B will have another quality that A doesn't have. Accept yourself as you are and use the skills, use the capacities and capabilities that you have been blessed with. If I can speak well and B cannot speak well, probably B can write well and I cannot write well. So B will use the quality of writing and A will use the quality of speaking. Accept your capabilities, accept your drawbacks, accept yourself as you are, and use the capacities that you have to the utmost. Use your best skills and never quit, never give up. Giving up takes you back, and you should never let that happen with yourself. Never quit. Another very important thing is, when you start doing something, anything that you have chalked out for yourself, any plan, you start doing it and you find many hurdles. And you don't find comfortable at times doing certain things. You have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to take things as they come your way and manage them accordingly. Life is not a bed of roses. Everything will not be very positive all the time. It cannot be. So you have to step out of your comfort zone and compromise with things and chalk out new ways of dealing with things in order to reach your destination and in order to be self-confident again. Now another interesting thing that has come up here is everyone has an inner critic. That's very true. All of us, while we make a plan and move along the road of life, we have taken up a certain path for doing something that we have chosen for ourselves. We find that at times we feel scared of what the future is going to hold for us because, there's so many people around us, there's this environment around us, and sometimes the criticism goes so heavy and high that we feel bogged down by it and we feel scared, then we become fearful about really, are we doing the right things? Am I doing the right things? Or maybe some other person is right about trying to stop me from going the way I am going. Sometimes we feel we don't have the capacity and the capability to do things the way we planned doing them, because we see so many hindrances in our way. So that inner critic, it wakes up and it says to us that probably other people are right, or probably you don't have the capability or capacity to go along the way you have planned it. So even with very, very confident people, this happens. So if it happens with any one of us, it doesn't mean that we feel underconfident in any way, or we feel bogged down by life in any way, or we feel that we cannot do it. I cannot manage it. This is unmanageable for me. No, you don't have to feel that way. That doesn't mean you're underconfident. It only means that the inner critic in you has been awakened in some way, and he is trying to reinforce some negative thoughts into you, and trying to probably alarm you about the situation, and again make you analyze whether you're doing right or wrong. And if you think again in a positive manner that no, what you're doing is right and you need to go along it, probably choose another channel, or probably refocus on how you're doing things. But that doesn't really mean you need to stop, and that doesn't really mean that you're underconfident. No, not at all. It is just your inner critic, and you have to deal with it. You have to analyze things once again, and you have to just go on. Be self-confident. No need to become underconfident because you have been bogged down by certain circumstances or people or things in life. So this was the second part of this Boosting Self-Confidence workshop. Please subscribe the channel to get the third part, to become the first one to get a third part. And please like and share the video as well. See you next time in the third part of the same presentation. Hello dear viewers, dear subscribers. You must have got the third part of the online workshop on boosting self-confidence. This is the third part of the same workshop that we have been going on with since the last two videos, training videos. We discussed in the first two parts how self-confidence is important, how achieving it is important for wellness and goodness in life, to achieve total wellness in life, and how we can do it. What are the techniques for attaining self-confidence? We will be discussing the theme further in this workshop presentation. Let's see how it goes. When we step into professional life, even before that, when we are going through our academic years, sometimes we experience, or we feel that we have experienced it this way, that people are difficult to face and deal with. We think that somehow we are unable to deal well with people, although we think we have very sharp, good personalities and we can easily manage people. Still we are unable to. Why does that happen? Is it really that there is something lacking in us? Is it really that we don't have the required capacities, the required sharpness? Is it really so that we are underconfident, that we don't have the capability to deal effectively with people? Is it really so? Actually, this is not what it is. It is actually the fact that life is tough. Dealing with people is tough. It will happen that way. Anyway, it will happen that way. People sometimes will make you feel underconfident. But that does not mean that you start questioning your self-confidence and your self-esteem. That does not mean that you start thinking that I am underconfident, that I don't have the required capacities and capabilities. What will it result into? It will only result into the fact that you will lose your self-esteem. You have lost your self-esteem just because of the people around you, because of their reactions around you, because you're not able to face them well. The loss is all yours. When you're looking for self-esteem and self-confidence in other people, when you think their reactions will define whether you are confident enough, whether you are worthy to be respected, to be esteemed, what will happen? You will be rated at a very low grade, because it's very, very easy to point at others, to criticize others, to criticize anything, to point at anything. But to be able to do something in a good manner or properly is very difficult. So when people, they criticize you because it's easy. The easiest task is to criticize other people, or to criticize other things, or to criticize a work of art or a writing or anything created by somebody else. It's difficult to create yourself. It's easy to criticize somebody else's creation. So people will not give you self-esteem. People will not give you self-confidence. It will be very rare that you experience that. So if you face hurdles in facing people, if you find it difficult to manage people, it does not at all mean that you lower your self-esteem or self-confidence. Because if you do that, you lose your happiness. You lose the real meaning of life that you are living for. Dr. Nathaniel Brander said, "The tragedy is that so many people look for self-confidence and self-respect everywhere except within themselves, and so they fail in their search." Dr. Nathaniel Brander is a psychotherapist and writer best known today for his work in the psychology of self-esteem. So you see the point that we were discussing? This quotation validates that point. It's important that you keep your self-esteem and self-respect up in your own eyes. Don't look at yourself through the eyes of other people. Now, there is something very important that we need to discuss here. And that is your thought process, your mental health, your perception about yourself, your real perception about yourself, how you really look at yourself. That is translated in your mind as your thoughts. And those thoughts are communicated as your body language, as your aura, as your personality to other people. That is translated as your behavior, as your perception of life, as your words, as what is going on in your mind to the receivers. See, look at it in a very simple way. We all have seen small children. Even a small child has some thought process going on. And when he looks at you, if you're looking back at him with love, if you're smiling at him, he will smile back at you. He will look at you with love. He will be happy. Why? because even a small child can read your thoughts. Maybe cannot understand the language you're speaking, but can read your thoughts through your body language, through your eyes, through your expressions. And that is something that helps him decode your thought process. So your thought process, the way you perceive yourself, what you think of yourself, how you stand in your own eyes, how your own mind finds you, is translated to others through your words, through your body language, through your expressions. And a large impact is created because of that. And because of that large impact, people deal with you in different manners. And in this corporate world, it is very important that impact is positive. Because if that impact is positive, people are going to deal with you in a positive manner. They will make you, your perception of yourself will make you successful, because that will affect how other people perceive you. You must be looking at this image of Garfield on your screens, and he is standing like a king. Look at his body language. He's not saying anything to us. Look at his expressions, his eyes, his posture. And we know that Garfield thinks the world for himself. He thinks the world of himself, and he thinks he owns the world and that he has a stature in this world. Now, just by looking at this picture, this is what I am thinking. I will request you people also to look at Garfield, only look at Garfield, and think about what his posture feels like. So you will find that all your thoughts will have connotations of grandeur and power, and you will feel that Garfield is emanating those thoughts at this point. So thoughts are very important, thought processes are very important, impressions are made because of those thought processes, your expressions are made because of those thought processes. So we have learned throughout the workshop till now that self-confidence makes our life good, that it takes us to our destination, that it makes us progress along the path that is going to finally take us to our destination. Self-confidence is very important, and if we keep getting a healthy dose of self-confidence continuously, of course it's going to take us a long way in our personal and professional lives. It's going to leave a very positive impact on our personal lives, on our professional lives. So, feeling self-confident, remaining confident about yourself, taking the right decisions, perceiving things in the right manner, and going about them in the right way, being positive, and giving yourself the room to be self-confident, to be happy about yourself, to know that what you are doing, you can do, and you can do in a very good manner, is something that gives a lot of boost to your self-confidence, and then it makes you happy in the way that it is going to make you feel positive about your personal and professional life. So self-confidence really is very, very important. Self-confidence is something that will be liked by your higher-ups as well, because they will know that you can make a decision, that you can move according to that decision, that if they trust in you, you will live up to that trust, that you can do things the way they are planned, that they can give you responsibility, that when you're made responsible for anything, you will really do it too. You will have the courage and the guts to go along. You are confident enough. So boosting your self-confidence will make your professional life better, will make your boss think about you in a good manner, and you will become a favorite with your bosses and with your colleagues as well. So being self-confident, boosting your self-confidence, learning the techniques to self-confidence, applying them on yourself, it is all very positive. Let me here digress a bit and talk to you about a technique that I learned about in my childhood. That was very important. That was psychological. My dad used to have a big library at home, of his own, of course. And in that library, I used to go and I used to, of course, pick up books and do stuff like all children do. Once I found a small book there, and kids are normally interested in small sized books. I really liked it. I picked it up and I saw that that book was about psychology. And in that small book, handbook, I found a technique. And that technique was to train your brain. How to train your brain. What did it say? It said that when you lie down in bed at night to sleep, you stretch all your limbs one by one and then relax them one by one. And then do that for 3 to 4 times, and then tell your brain that if I do this, if I plan it this way, this is going to help me in this and this manner. And if I don't do it, I will be harmed in so and so manner. Repeat it to your mind. You can say it aloud, you can say it to yourself in your mind, and repeat it. Repeat it. Tell your brain again and again and again about it 10 times, 20 times. Then you can go to sleep. Keep doing it for at least 7 days and you will get the required results. Your brain will start working in the way you want it to work, and resultantly that will be translated into your actions. So that was a technique that I found really nice for me. Even at that time, academically, I used to train my mind to know that I should study because at that time, every student runs away from studying. So that happened with me too. Of course, I was a very good student, but then to be as good as I was, I needed to train my brain as well. So everybody of us needs to train their brain at certain stages of life. This is a very good technique. You can also use it if you need to. Anybody can use it. This is a very simple and nice technique, and it is really helpful. That's my personal experience. So that you can use it to boost your self-confidence as well, because you can tell your brains that if you're not confident enough, this harm might come to you, and this drawback might be seen in your work, in your professional life, in your personal life. So the technique will help you becoming self-confident, to boost your self-confidence. This is a very nice one that I just remembered. So I hope you will apply it and you will like the results. And I will see you now in the next part of this online workshop. If you really liked it, please like and share the presentation, and please subscribe the channel. Please do, and take care of yourselves. Hello everyone, so here we are with the fourth part of the online workshop on boosting self-confidence. This is the fourth part. In the first three parts we have already discussed why being self-confident is so important, why self-esteem is so important, why self-respect is so important, what good changes do these things bring to our life, how positive attitude towards ourselves makes others positive about us, and how we can go towards being more self-confident as a person. What are the milestones on the road to self-confidence? All these things we have been discussing till now in the first three parts of the workshop. Today we are going to discuss what actions should we take in order to become more self-confident, or in order to boost our self-confidence. So, what can be the actions that will lead us to the road of self-confidence, or that are important to boost our self-confidence, in fact? Even if you are self-confident, that self-confidence can be boosted to a certain extent. The sky is not the limit. So, in a positive way, when you're going along with it in a positive way, there is always a room for improvement. I'm not saying that you can become overconfident, because overconfident is not good. It's it holds a negative connotation. So when it becomes negative, it breeds negativity. We are talking about boosting our self-confidence to the extent that we don't become overconfident at the same time. To become self-confident, the first thing that we should do is think positively. Because positive thinking leaves a deep impact on our surroundings. First of all, on our aura, the aura of our personality, and on our attitude, and on the way people perceive our thoughts about ourselves, and then they react to them. This is something that we discussed in the last part of the workshop as well. And this is something that is very, very important, because if you have a positive attitude about yourself, if you have self-respect, if you have self-esteem, if you have self-confidence, then others will know that from your body language, from your expressions, from the way you deliver yourself, and they will be giving you respect accordingly. They will be judging you accordingly. So it's very important that you think positive about yourself. Self-confidence is the first requisite for great undertakings. Dr. Samuel Johnson said that. He was a famous English writer and a poet as well, a critic as well, a biographer, and he wrote this, that you need to be self-confident in order to undertake great things. This is very, very true, because if you're not confident enough, if you think that you are not capable enough, or you don't have the capacity to do certain things, how can you undertake them? So, as we discussed in the first part of the workshop also, that in order to dream big, you should have self-confidence. And when you have the confidence to dream big, then you should have the confidence to execute those things as well, to put them into action as well, and to take that first step, to take that first plunge needs self-confidence. Because if you are not confident about yourself, about your plannings, about your thinking, about what you're doing, then you will not be able to execute them either. So self-confidence, positive thinking, they go hand in hand, and they also go hand in hand with killing negative thoughts and negative impressions on others about yourself, and negative attitude of other people towards you. So what do we need to do after, of course, being positive about ourselves? We need to do something else too. We need to act positively, towards life as a whole. An example just came to my mind. There is a glass of water. There is a glass which has half, say, water in it. There are two people, A and B. A will say this glass is half full, and B will say this glass is half empty. Now, these are minor statements. The level of the water remains the same in the glass. It does not change. It remains the same. But the two perspectives are totally different. The two ways of looking at the glass and the level of the water in the glass are totally different. The two perspectives are disseminating different forms of energy. A, who is saying the glass is half full of water, is disseminating positive energy. B, who says the glass is half empty, is disseminating negative energy. And when that message is decoded by the recipient, positive and negative energies respectively are also received by them. When you're saying something positive, it means you are putting your positive energy into action. When you say the glass is half full, you're disseminating, giving out positive energy, putting your positive energy into action, because the listener is going to feel positive at your statement. When you say the glass is half empty, you're disseminating negative energy. The decoder of your statement is going to feel negative, is going to feel down. So the depression that you feel, the discontentment that you have, will be translated in your words, in your perspectives to the other person. This is your perspective on life. This is the perspective of A and B on life, positive and negative, as we just discussed with a small example. You have to be positive about life, because if you are positive, you will disseminate positive energy. Your self-image will become positive, and you will be reflecting that self-image in your attitude, in your behavior, in the way you deal with others. And they will be reacting to that positive energy in a positive manner. If they find negative vibes coming from you, they will act negatively towards you. So, acting positive is very important. Now, Rosalind Smith Carter said, if you doubt you can accomplish something, then you can't accomplish it. You have to have confidence in your ability and then be tough enough to follow through. Very nice. And very important. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in your own abilities, how can you do something? If you doubt that you can accomplish something, you are never going to be able to accomplish it. You will not be able to, because you will have negative energies emanating from you. You will be working within those negative energies. There will be no positivity. And when there will be no positivity, you will not be able to do well. You will not be able to accomplish things. So, in order to accomplish something big, accomplish something good enough, you need to have self-confidence. And then you need to be strong enough to follow through and to accomplish what you wanted to. Because there are going to be hurdles, many hurdles on your way. There are going to be problems. You have to face them. You have to brave them out. And if you don't have self-confidence, you cannot do that. If you're not tough enough, you cannot do that. So you have to be self-confident and strong to be able to achieve things. The third thing, very important thing, is to set goals and to achieve them. We have been discussing that previously as well. In the last image also we discussed that. But then what is new here is that you should set goals that are achievable, not goals that are too high for you to achieve. Goals that are achievable for you yourself, you should set them that way. They should be practical enough, realistic enough. So when the goals that you set are realistic enough, you know that you can achieve them, you will be able to. But if you set your goals too high, they are not realistic, they are unrealistic. You will not be able to achieve them. And what will happen? You will get disillusioned, disappointed. And when you get disillusioned and disappointed, when you are unable to achieve your goals as you have planned for yourself, you lose your self-esteem. You lose your self-confidence. So you should first, you have to start somewhere. The first step has to be taken. So plan your goals in a way that are achievable, so that when you achieve that goal, you're able to plan further, then move further, a bit higher, so that you give yourself a good starting. And then when you follow through, what happens is you achieve one goal, you set another goal, you achieve that goal, you set another goal, you achieve that goal, and then you go on and on and on, and you keep on giving yourself a continuous dose of self-confidence and self-esteem and self-actualization. All these things are very important for your mental, psychological health. So they really help you feel happy and good and satisfied, and that you have achieved something, that you have accomplished something. They grow your confidence in your abilities, in your capabilities, in your confidence, and they make you a happier, livelier person as a whole. Zig Ziglar said, he was a psychologist, and he said, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Oh, very nice, precise, crisp words by Zig Ziglar. You don't have to be very great to start with, because you have to start with basic things. Each one of us has to start somewhere. And when we start with basic things. We don't reach the top of the ladder in one stride. No. We have to go on upwards step by step. So you don't have to be great to start with, but you have to start to be great. To reach that top ladder, to reach that top strand, you have to be great. So you have to start. You don't have to be great, you have to start so that you reach that top strand. Self-confidence and not being overconfident, because when you're overconfident, you get disillusioned about things. There are chances that you will not be able to achieve the high goals, the bloated goals that you set for yourself, and then you will feel disillusioned. Then you will feel disappointed with yourself, and then you will lose your self-esteem and self-respect. So after discussing all these points for becoming self-confident, the actions that we need to take, how we need to act, and how we need to keep ourselves from becoming overconfident. We have an activity here. You can see in the picture there is a person who is full of confidence, and he's not only full of confidence, he's bloated because of confidence. And how is he bloated? An air pump is sending in air into him. And what will happen? Bang! He will blow up, or he will deflate. He's inflated right now, but he will deflate, just as a balloon is first inflated and then it deflates. So overconfidence does that to you. The image tells it all, but then I should not be saying much, because I want each one of us to do something, and that's an activity. I want you to write 3 to 5 lines on the after effects of becoming overconfident, and that will brainstorm you about what we discussed today. That will be a brainstorming session for yourself after you have written down 4 to 5 lines on after effects of becoming overconfident. Read them, and you will find that a brainstorming has been very useful for you and has given you some food for thought. So I would love it if you now take out your pens and pencils and sit down on your tables with papers and jot down a few words. Or if you are too technology savvy, you can do that on your mobile phones. You can do that on your iPads, on your laptops, whatever way suits you. Go about it and think what we have been discussing, and think why overconfidence can be harmful for us. Hello to all my listeners, my subscribers of the channel Life Themes with Faria Habib. If you have not yet subscribed to it, please do if you are listening to me. This is going to be the 5th part of the online workshop on boosting self-confidence. We have already done the first 4 parts. They are there on my channel, and if you want to listen to them, you're most welcome. And do like and share the videos. Please view them fully to understand the topic fully, and please subscribe and click the bell icon as well, so that you become the first one to receive the next part of the workshop, and also to receive any video that is uploaded on my channel. Thank you. So in the last part of the workshop, we have been discussing what we should be doing in order to boost our self-confidence, and we discussed 3 points before the activity that we undertook at the end of the last part. And those 3 things that we discussed were: we should think positively about ourselves, we should act positively towards life, and we should set realistic goals for ourselves. Those were the 3 things that we discussed. Today we will be discussing some more things that will take us towards boosting our self-confidence. The first thing that we will be discussing today is knowing ourselves, because when we think that we don't have proper capacities and capabilities to do things right, we become underconfident. We develop a negative self-image. We start thinking negatively about ourselves. So we have to take that shroud off first. The shroud of negativity that we are wearing. Because our thoughts, when we think that we are not able to cope with things properly, when we develop a negative self-image, that negativity enshrouds us. The aura of our personality becomes negative. Our attitude towards life, towards ourselves, becomes negative. Our behavior becomes negative. We start disseminating negative thoughts. And then, of course, when it's all about negativity, we are going to have a very low self-esteem and very low self-confidence as well. Now, to start improving that self-confidence, what we should start doing is we should start to know ourselves better as a person. What does that mean? We don't know ourselves. Does it mean that actually we are very capable people and we just don't know that we are not? That we are so and we think that we are not? No. The thing is, when you start learning about yourself, you start to know that there are many things that you can do. There might be many things that you will not be able to do, you might not be able to do, or you might think you are under capacity for it, but there are many things that you can do. Only that you have not either polished your skills or you don't know that you can do those things. So the areas that you are good at, you will come to know about that. And when you will start knowing that there are things that you are good at, you will start liking yourself for it. Your thoughts about yourself will start becoming positive. Positivity will start creeping into the negativity. And slowly and gradually, the shroud of negativity that you are wearing as a person will be thrown off. You will know that you have positive faces to your personality, that you are capable of doing certain things, that you can manage yourself better as a person, and that the limitations that you think you have are not real, they are artificial. You, because of the negativity shroud that you are wearing, you have imagined that you have these limitations. They are actually not there. If you cannot do one thing in one way, you can do it in another way. You can accomplish things. You can dream and you can make those dreams come true. So when you know yourself deeply, you will start liking yourself and you will start having more self-esteem and you will boost your self-confidence. So it's knowing yourself in a better manner, thinking positively about yourself, also knowing yourself in a positive manner, meaning that knowing whether your limitations, the things that you think are your limitations, are real or false, will take you eventually towards boosting your self-confidence, towards achieving self-respect. Another thing, to boost your self-confidence, you should try to become a more competent person. How can you become a more competent person? Well, it's very easy. Start studying more. Start learning more. Start practicing things much more than you do before. And when you start studying more, learning more, broadening your horizons more, what happens? You start believing in yourself more. And when you start believing in yourself more and more, you start becoming confident. You start believing in yourself, believing in your abilities, and thus you boost your self-confidence. So it's very important, if you want to amplify your self-confidence, you should amplify your competence. You should start becoming a more learned person, whatever field you're working in. If you're a student, say, you should start studying. You should start practicing mathematics. If you are a student of mathematics, say, you should start writing more if you want to increase your creativity. You should start reading more if you want to increase your thought processes, make them much better. And of course, amplify your writing skills. Similarly, if you are, say, an engineer by profession, you should read more about your subject, respective discipline. You should get more knowledge about the things that are concerned with you. You should be practicing things much more in your particular field so that you become a better worker. What does that add to? That adds to your competence as a person. That adds to your social and professional acceptability. People will start respecting you more, either academically or professionally, or even personally, in your family, in your personal life. People will start respecting you more. So your worth increases as a person on all the horizons, whether that be your personal horizon, your professional horizon, your academic horizon. Your worth starts increasing. And when your worth starts increasing in the eyes of the world, it starts increasing in your own eyes as well. Your self-esteem increases. Your respect for yourself increases. And your confidence is boosted. So, becoming more competent leads to becoming more confident. There's a quote given here, and you can all read it here. Far away there in the sunshine are my highest aspirations. I may not reach them, but I can look up and see their beauty, believe in them, and try to follow where they lead. Beautiful quote. Now, this is improving your competence actually. You think you can reach a certain point. You think that can be your destination. You will be moving towards it slowly. Milestone after milestone. You will reach one milestone, then the next one, then the next one. You will be moving towards your destination, slowly and gradually. You will be becoming a better person at each step. You will be moving on towards your destination with much more confidence than you did when you reached the last milestone. So, at every step that you take towards betterment, towards making yourself better, towards making your self-esteem better, towards making the environment around you much better for yourself, in the sense that your worth increases in the eyes of the world and you become more self-confident. You boost your self-confidence by taking little steps. You cannot reach the horizon in a single stride. You have to walk towards it. And walk towards it slowly and believe that you can reach there. Believing in yourself, believing in the fact that you have the capacity to do a certain thing boosts your self-confidence. And boosting your self-confidence makes you a more competent and better person. So, this is a cycle that goes on between believing in yourself, between self-esteem, between self-confidence. It's a circle that goes on. It's a gyre. And you have to control that gyre. It has to be held in your own hands so that you actually do what you want, and you start believing in yourself, you start respecting yourself, and you start becoming more confident. So we discussed a few points, and we will go on to discuss another one, and that is we first discussed amplify your competence. Now we will discuss that we should amplify our knowledge and awareness. Our knowledge and awareness will give us more power. Now, how? We said in the last image that we discussed, we said that we should become more competent by studying more, by practicing more. Now we are saying that we should empower ourselves by amplifying our knowledge and awareness. Knowledge and awareness about what? Only about our subject? Only about our area of professionalism? No. Knowledge generally about life. Awareness generally about our surroundings, about life. It's very important to stay aware of your environment, in these days, in these modern times, to be aware of whatever is going on in the world, the whole world. Having knowledge about the happenings in the whole world. That knowledge, that awareness empowers you. You can discuss things with others. You can speak while you're sitting with friends and colleagues. You can put in your share when at a certain forum of friends, of meetings, of conferences, a certain thing is being discussed. So if you are aware, if you are knowledgeable, your respect in the world will also increase. If a discussion is going on, say, and you are unable to say anything or to contribute anything, what will happen? Will people respect you the same way they will if you put in your share, if you give them certain new information? No, there will be a difference. They will respect you more if you're giving them more information and knowledge. So in order to increase your respect in the eyes of others, you should become more knowledgeable. You should become more aware. And when you become a person who is well liked and respected by others, your self-esteem also increases. Your self-respect increases, and as a result, your self-confidence increases. So, your knowledge and your awareness, they give you power that way. They empower you. Next point. Compliment other people. Wow, what does that mean? Complimenting other people will make you more confident? Why? Why should you be complimenting other people for the good things they have? How can that increase your self-confidence? Well, that means when you're complimenting other people, it means you are a positive person. And you have a positive attitude towards life, and you act positively as well. You can appreciate the goodness in others. And when you are doing that, you're actually bringing out the goodness in you. Indirectly. Your image that goes out to the world becomes positive. People know that you are a positive person, and you are able to appreciate positivity in other people as well. And indirectly, you're increasing your respect in the eyes of others. You are improving your image in the eyes of others, and thus, again indirectly, you are helping yourself boost your self-confidence, boost your self-respect. So you should not be engaged in backstabbing and leg pulling. You should not think rather that by backstabbing and leg pulling you are going to hurt somebody else and that will create a space for you. No. That will create a space for you is something very wrong, because that will give out a negative image of your personality to others. And that will harm you in the long run. So don't indulge in any negative activity about other people. Rather, compliment them for the goodness that they have, for the competence that they have, and indirectly you will be helping yourself as well. So these were the points that we discussed today. I've taken a lot of your time already. So I will stop here and we will go on to discuss more things in the next part of this workshop. That will be the 6th part. And if you liked the discussions today, please share and like this video. Please comment and please do subscribe as well and click the bell icon as well. Thank you. A big hello to everyone who's listening to this online workshop on boosting self-confidence part 6. This is the 6th part of the workshop. First 5 parts of the workshop, online workshop, are already there on my channel Live Themes with Faria Habib on YouTube, and you can click them and watch them at your leisure. I must thank you all for listening to these videos, watching them and appreciating them. Your watching them is actually the appreciation that you give them. And please, if you want to go on watching more videos on more topics, and of course there is still more to come on this particular topic as well. If you want to watch these videos, upcoming videos, please subscribe, click the bell icon so that you become the first one to know when the next video is uploaded. Please like and share as well so that we can spread the good word to more friends. Let's go on to see what we have in the 6th part of this online workshop. So we've been discussing since ever now in this workshop what needs to be done to become more self-confident. Why do we require to become more self-confident? Why do we need self-esteem? Why do we need to respect ourselves? Why do we need to have a positive aura of our personality? Why do we need to have a positive impression? Why do we need to leave an impression on people that tells of our positive attitude and positive thinking? And so, why is self-confidence so important? And lately, in the last part, we have discussed a few points about how can we take certain actions and what are those actions which can lead us towards becoming more self-confident. We have already discussed a few points. Today we're going to discuss a few more. The first one that we are going to discuss today is dress sharp, as you can see in the image on your laptops or your screens. What is meant by dress sharp? Should the cuts of our clothes be very sharp? No. it actually means sharpness. Here is the sharpness of your mind, your mental approach towards your dressing. Because the way you dress up, the way you are dressed actually translates your self-confidence, your belief in yourself, the way you look at yourself, the way you want people to look at you. So that's why dressing sensibly is very, very important. Dressing well is very, very important. Okay, let me give you a simple example. When we get up in the morning and we have to go to school as students, we dress up in our uniforms, school uniforms. We have to go to office, we dress up accordingly. A banker dresses up according to his official banking needs. A doctor dresses up according to his or her hospital needs. Similarly, a technician will dress up according to his or her technical needs, the working environment. So your dress or your dressing sense is actually translating to people who you are. Similarly, at home, when we go to bed, we change into our night suits. So that is a very easy dress for us to wear and to sleep in. So what we are going to do, what kind of mood we are in now, what occupation we belong to, how do we portray ourselves to the society, or how do we want the society to look at us, is actually translated through your dress, the way you are dressed up. And believe me, if you are dressed up well, you feel confident by yourself. Your self-confidence improves when your dressing is good. If you are not well dressed, your self-confidence drops. Try doing it. Try dressing up one day and looking at yourself in the mirror. And you will feel you really are happy about it. You're feeling nice about it. You like the fact that you're looking nice. And that comes, the expression of your liking for yourself comes on your face as well. So dressing up well, dressing sharply, dressing sensibly, not buying 10 things but buying 5 good ones is very important. So that when you dress up and you meet the people, they take a positive impression of you. They take an impression that you are somebody who is actually prospering in life, who is going to become successful, who knows how to spell